Yep, 2015 Ford Fiesta. Customer complaint was the car doesn't start. They thought it was a bad starter. So they sent it out to me. Very big history behind this car, by the way. I used to be the owner of this car. I bought this car pretty much brand new back in 2015. Long story. Anyway, I tried to start the car, and the car was actually a crank. The starter does turn, but the car wouldn't start. So the first thing I noticed was when I went inside the car and I had the ignition on, right here in the mileage was all zeros. That's a good indication of there could be a communication problem with the ECM. I then pulled the codes. I'm going to show you the codes. With those codes, I suspected it could have been a power issue to the cluster. Possibly one of the fuses, because the immobilizer system runs through this instrument cluster. So I pull down the glove box. You just push on these sides here and the clips will come out, and you can just fold it down, and there is the fuse box. Okay, so there are 3 fuses, primary fuses for that cluster. That 7.5, I believe it's 21 right here, and then that's fuse 3. I checked all 3 of those fuses and they were good. So I came back to the car, turned it was off, put the key in, turned it on, cranked it, and it started right up. So most likely from me just pushing those fuses, it might have lost power, because what happens is, look at this hood. Okay, so this hood is actually from is because this vehicle is in Galveston at the sea. You know, so there's going to be issues with salt. You know, the salt air and stuff like that can cause all kind of crazy things like that. And in fact, this vehicle is how I ended up with my monster truck. So that's my monster truck right there. And the reason I had that monster truck is because this was one of my first projects back in 2015 when I started on the Ford Focus and Fiesta line. So I bought this Fiesta. This thing was brand new. It had, I think, 1,000 miles on it. It has low mileage now, if I remember, if I just saw that. Anyway, it had 1,000 miles when I bought it, and it just needed a bumper and the grill and the hood. And I had a big problem finding that brand new. Ford has like a monopoly on the parts. Anyway, long story short, I had the car sold without even doing those repairs, but I wanted more money because it was brand new at the time in 2015, and I held on to it. Long story short, I ended up being upside down because the parts were so expensive, and I didn't even want to see the car anymore. The car sat brand new with 1,000 miles on it for like a year because I just didn't want to even think about it, and I focused on the Ford Focuses. And one of my customers that bought previous cars from me, he saw it. He's like, "Hey, what's up with this one?" I was like, I'm upside down. I don't even want to talk about it. He's like, he had bought this truck for his son, and then he said, "Hey," he was kind of upside down in that truck too. He said, "Hey, why don't we do something? Let's do a trade." So he took this problem from me, and I took that problem from him. So that's the kind of a backstory behind this car. So I haven't seen it in all these years, and I'm surprised to see what the salt water, the air did to the hood. So I think I'm going to help them on replacing that hood and possibly painting the front. But yeah, that was it. Quick tip: if you ever get this error, the ECM also had an immobilizer error. And it looks like it all had to do with the fuses going to the power, because basically the transceiver for the key runs through the cluster, and that communicates with the ECM. That's how the immobilizer system works on this vehicle. So once you have any kind of a problem with the power to the cluster, you can have issues like this. Anyway, guys, quick short video. Click that thumbs up button, like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.